Yeah. And I thought about this, and I thought about this week for me. I have 4 brothers. I don't really get along with any of them. Given my druthers, I would rather take a beating than to be around my brothers for the most part. I don't get along with them. Never have. Part of it is the age difference. I'm the youngest of 5 brothers. The closest one to me is 8 years older than I am. While I had 4 brothers, I was raised as an only child because they were all gone. You know, there was such a disconnect. But it's one of those things that we just don't connect. And this week, all my brothers from the 4 corners of the universe, we're all going to be together. We're all going to be together. All of us, all of our families, all of our children, all of our grandchildren. And, you know, on one hand, I'm excited for my mother. Because Mom, I know that whatever else happens, for my mother, that will be the gift of Christmas. On Christmas Day, whenever we all gather in her basement, and here come her children, her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, there'll be at least 3 generations. I was thinking, I don't think there'll be 4, but there'll at least be 3. I have no idea how many people. There'll be somewhere between 20 and 50 people there. And it's going to be this incredible gathering. And I know that my mother will be glowing. And I'm so excited for her. Because in her failing health, I don't know how many more years she will be able to do that or host that or recognize what's going on. And I know this is going to be a great year for her. Then there's the other side of it. I've got to be around my brothers and their idiot children. And somehow, as I'm thinking about and preparing weeks in advance on what to preach today, it comes back to this. This sermon, I think, is probably more for me than it is for you. Maybe you deal with the same stuff in your family. Dealing with the stuff, dealing with the problems, dealing with whatever. It'd be interesting if you pay attention to this with your families whenever they get together. It'd be interesting to watch the drama triangle come out. The drama triangle is where you have a persecutor, a victim, and a rescuer. Watch how many times the drama triangle jumps up in your family around the Christmas table or through the day. Somebody will attack somebody about how stupid they are, what they look like, or somebody's kids, and then mom or dad or somebody else will come to rescue them, and there'll be a fight. Or, don't think you have to have 3 people to do that. A lot of times you just have to have 2. The persecutor will attack the victim will try to rescue themselves, become the persecutor, and make the other person the victim, and go back and forth, and then those 2 will have to leave the room because they're throwing stuff at each other. Does this only happen at my house, or does everybody else do it? You guys are looking at me like, really? Yeah. That judgmentalness, though, is not just toward other people. We deal with ourselves. We turn that inward where we recognize that we're not at peace with ourselves. It's the end of a year. How was 2009 for you? Did you accomplish what you wanted to? Are you where you want to be? Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally? Are you where you want to be? Have you grown? Have you developed? Can you find fault with the things you've done, the decisions we've made? And the answer is, well, yeah, I can, Jeff. Yeah, let's be honest, I can. And sometimes things don't go well in our life, and we get upset at ourselves, and we can actually take that anger out, and we place it right on God, and then we start feeling guilty. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, never, never, ever underestimate the power of guilt. It is an incredible emotion, because guilt can bog us down, and guilt is an emotion that we actually can feel guilty and then start feeling guilty that we feel guilty. And then feel guilty that we can't stop feeling guilty. It's amazing how it feeds on itself. And we feel guilty that we haven't done more, we feel guilty that whatever, and then we take our anger, we place it on God, and we get mad at Him, and then we feel guilty because somebody somewhere along the way told us you shouldn't get mad at God, and you know, that goes on and on and on. Folks, let me explain something about the emotion of God and whenever we hurt. Because while Christmas is a big and wonderful time for people when things are going right, Christmas is also a horrible, some of the hardest possible time of year for people when things are going wrong. And we can take that emotion, we can place it on God, and we can be hacked off. Folks, I want you to think about a friend that you have, whoever their name is. You ever had somebody that loved you enough that you could go to them and scream at them and yell at them or tell them how dirty they were and how upset you were, and they took it and didn't hold it against you and loved you anyway? You remember how you felt about that person later on? You were closer to them. It takes a special friendship whenever I can go to Steve Levers and tell him what a dirtball I think he is and how upset I am at him, and he says, you know what, I love you anyway, Jeff, and that's okay. And later on I realize that my emotions have died down. I go back and I apologize, and Steve says, hey, I love you anyway. And I know for a fact that I am going to be closer to him now because he took that, he didn't hold it against me, he realized that was my emotional release. He loves me anyway for who I am, for my faults, my flaws, my failures, and is going to be there for me anyway. I'm going to be closer to him because he took it and didn't hold it against me. And understand, folks, that's where our Heavenly Father's at. The emotions that we have are a gift from him. Whenever we get hacked off and we get mad and we want to blame God for our lot in life and we want to whatever, folks, we can go through all that and realize it's an emotional release. Interestingly enough, in my daily devotions, right now I'm reading through the book of Job. It's so interesting to read that as Job, as he's going through this incredible turmoil, is screaming at God, and he's got his three fins there saying, oh, God's going to strike you dead for that. It's okay. God can hear it, God understands it, and God's going to be there for us anyway. So here's the question. How do I have this, get this, continue this, experience this peacefulness? Not only with me and my Heavenly Father, but with me and the people around me. And the answer to that, of course, is Jesus Christ. But to illustrate that and explain that, I'm going to talk about Kingston. Initially enough, he's in the room. Alexis too, but Kingston was the first, so his memory, my memory of him is even more. From Dora the Explorer to Hannah Montana to SpongeBob SquarePants to, I don't know, the Jonas Brothers, I'm sure your children have inundated you with all of this stuff. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes? Yeah, thank you. 15 years ago when it was Kingston, 12 years ago when it was Alexis, it was a stupid, stinking purple dinosaur. It was this purple dinosaur. At first, we were thrilled with Kingston and Alexis then, the years, as Alexis came along, at their memory. Because it was amazing because Kingston and Alexis, they could watch a tape of Barney, this stupid, stinking purple dinosaur. They could watch this tape of Barney, and within just a couple of times watching, they could sing the songs. Verbatim. Then, after watching the tape a few more times, Kingston would go around reciting the tape. Verbatim. Every character. In voice, in character. The whole thing. And let me tell you, folks, the first 1,000 times, that's kind of funny. The next 100,000 times, it's not. You know what I mean? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Alexis was the same way. Alexis was the same way. And it was funny because they would want you to sit down and watch the tape with you. They would want you to sing along with them. They would want you to participate in all of these things. And I'm guessing the same thing with your children and you too. Yes, no, yes, sure, sure, you bet. One of the memories I have that I will always have, the great memory. I think Alexis had been born yet, I'm not sure. But her and for whatever reason her mom wasn't there, but excuse me for coughing as you listen to the recording. You'll have to edit that out.